everyone and welcome back. My people, this one na Bombshell. Dr. Katch on Onuji just exposed Kenneth Okonkwo. You guys know that recently, Kenneth Okonkwo is behaving as if he is the spokesperson to Atiku. And he has been saying like a lot of ugly things about Peter Obi, even though that he came out and told us that Peter Obi betrayed him. But in this video, Dr. Katch on Onuji just exposed it all, as well as other things that are going on in Nigeria. You really need to watch this video. Please share the video so that other people will get opportunity to watch as well.
To this thing without any structure. That was their word. Structure, structure, structure. Structure. Yet, everybody was following Peter. My appeal to those leaders was, please, we have a 3-horse race. Even if you want to do something like, endorse one party, wait for 3 months. Then we'll come back. And that was what happened. Nzozi Chukwu says so. Wait for 3 months, you come back. Chief Modo says so. Wait for 3 months, you come back. Before you knew it, Chief Modo said, let us not decide anything here that will not allow us to go home for Christmas. Chief Iwanyamuna agreed. And that was how they left it. And Peter became generally acceptable. When we came home for Christmas, everybody in the East were Peter, Peter, Peter. By the time we got home, got out to the city for January, it was now a kind of hurricane that took a life of its own. So we have seen this thing before.
I like that statement. Let's not decide anything that will make us not to go home for Christmas. And a good brother and a mutual friend of ours, Kenneth Okonkwo, barrister, recently suggested that fielding a northern candidate like Alhaji Atiku Abubakar might be the only way to counterbalance Tinubu's strength in the southwest. Do you agree with that? And before you do make any intervention, let me quickly bring this video in for your input here.
Letter to become the president. That is strategy. If my own strategy this time around is that I am going to support a northerner in 2027.
Really?
Yes. And it must be my condition to the northerners. It must be a northerner that the whole north will be willing to support.
Like an Atiku.
If the whole north is willing to support an Atiku, why not?
Or a Tambuwal.
If the whole north is willing to support, why not?
Or an Erufai.
Good. The person must be qualified, must have experience, and if he has experience in the presidency, it's an added advantage. And when we put up anything from the south, that will push him through. Let me tell you.
But would that be fair? Would that be fair that there was an 8 years of Buhari, a 4 years, if the case is the way you have put it, of Bola Tinubu, and then now the South has not had a share of 8 years in a rotation understanding of Nigeria, politically speaking? Would that be a fair game?
Good. Thank you for this question. And let me use this opportunity to clarify.
Now, listening to this, understanding that Kenneth Okonkwo is a mutual friend, is a friend, and is a brother, and he appeared to have received knocks from certain quarters, while some have really held him as a man of courage and outspokenness. What is your view on that statement?
I will say Kenneth first met us at Chelsea Hotel. By that time, we've already become big as a hurricane. And he was actually a member of the APC. So as he ran to us, and I now being the special advisor to Peter Obi on the public affairs, if you notice, a lot of us Igbos took a back seat, but we just put him up there since he came from Nollywood. Let him speak to that constituency and let's see what it is. So he really didn't know why we were doing the obedient movement. But after we finished the elections, Kenneth was now asking that Peter help him become publicity secretary of the Labour Party. I told him no. That party is not our own. We only came to beg for platform they gave us, so let them have their thing. It turned out that because Peter doesn't pay, he said he doesn't give shish. And I said, we are all volunteers. Kenneth didn't like that. I think he has run into Atiku. Atiku has now dollarized him, and that's why it is. is now speaking just for Atiku. So I don't take his words seriously. He is from the Nollywood sector. He's an actor. Let him be acting for Atiku's sake. We didn't form the Obedient Movement for him to come join us to make Paul Biya president. No, what we formed the movement for was to force inclusion of all of Nigeria in the governance of Nigeria. So, but yes, a lot of us who are here have left. I am speaking to you now. I'm not on salary. I don't get nothing. But it is based on my convictions that I started that campaign. It is based on my convictions that you saw me in Lagos. It is based on my convictions that I did what I did. So if somebody who came to join me didn't understand why I started what I started in the PDP, suddenly now because he didn't get gratified by the boss, he didn't get any advantage he sought from the party, leaves to go seek advantage elsewhere. Then you see him on TV talking like this. I don't take him seriously. He doesn't understand what it is. What we're arguing about is more than that. It's more than that. Remember, Obasanjo was from the south. Obasanjo won back-to-back presidency. Goodluck he ran. Goodluck defeated Buhari. So leave all that talk. What is he saying? That the presidency has been in the south now for 2 years. Me and him should come and sit down and organize to send it to the north, where he doesn't know the intentions of those in the north who are now happy who are unhappy because they're suddenly out of power. What will Atiku do in Nigeria he didn't do since? Tell me. No, tell me now. Is the coming together just to make sure you give the power to a northerner? What about Nigeria? Ask me what I've gained from Tinubu, and I will tell you, Tinubu has stopped the federal funding of the unknown government sting operation. It doesn't exist anymore. Yes. No single arrest, no single prosecution. Tinubu has now, because of our interventions, been forced to intervene in Benue. What happened? 48 hours arrests were made. Check. Even though you see killings in Plateau, Tinubu has to do more. I condemn Tinubu for his nepotism. Now today he's formed a company to intervene in the southeast. They asked me last week what I feel about the Southeast. I said 3 things. 1, allows the decentralization of ports, so that ports like Ibono, ports like Awaza, ports like Uguta, ports like Port Harcourt should be allowed to compete with Lagos. 2, when Ibe Kachuku was the Minister of Petroleum,
GMD.
Yes, he designed a gas master plan in which the whole of the Southeast were in that plan. But when in 2019, Buhari started constructing the master plan, he removed the whole of the Southeast, even though 74% of Nigeria's gas reserves are resident in the Southeast states of Imo. The largest gas field in Africa is in Asa North, in Ohaji, Anambra, Enugu, and Abia State. Why would you then design the gas pipeline and there is no pressure pipe anywhere in the Southeast? That is number 2. And I also say that, you remember when Amechi built his railway, the standard gauge, he built it to Maradi. Amechi is from Eastern Nigeria.
You were saying something before the network got too short. Anyway, if you want to round up, or else I can move to the next question.
Go on. I'm okay. Bring back the question. Yeah. I'll answer it.
Okay, that's fine. Let's move on. We've dealt with the question on Kenneth Okonkwo. Here, I wanted to actually say this. In all these political calculations, all these political considerations, how crucial is the Middle Belt in determining the outcome of the 2027 election? Because you keep hammering that, justice ought to go to the South. Where is the place of Middle Belt in all these permutations?
Before we started campaign of 2022-23, I went around the Middle Belt and I asked, what do they want? They say they want security. That the amount of ethnic cleansings going on in Kaduna and other places is unprecedented. And that was why you saw Peter Obi became the only candidate that visited the IDP camps. The Middle Belt, where they are, is security. Security. We should understand that anybody killed in the Middle Belt is a Nigerian that's killed. Why are we keeping quiet? Why don't we raise our voices when people are being massacred across the Middle Belt? Look at Kaduna State. Look at Plateau State. Look at Benue State. Look at Nasarawa. Look at Niger. Why should we keep quiet when Nigerians are massacred in the Middle Belt? And for me, and you can see apart from General Danjuma, most Middle Belt leaders have gone mute. General Gowon is not talking pim. Mark didn't say a thing.
Why do you think that is so? These are military generals and their people are being killed.
Because these military generals are afraid of offending historical friends. But Danjuma, being leader, everything you see Danjuma say are based on intelligence fed him by junior officers who are still currently in the army. So the army will be standing aside and the militias will be wiping villages. But the minute they organize to try to fight back the militias, the army will just come to block them. So General Danjuma is right to say that they collude. The military collude. So there are those who don't want to offend them. Who do you want to go and talk? Is it David Mark? David Mark that said that if Humphrey Nwosu declares Abiola president, that he will shoot Abiola dead. Is that who we talk? He was saying that to make people happy, his masters. Who will talk? It's not everybody that wears the general rank in the Middle Belt that's a general. Danjuma is a general in both act, deed, and life. Same as Obasanjo. You saw he's not afraid to speak. How many of them speak up when their people have been massacred? And yet, all these generals are junior to General Gowon. Why didn't Gowon talk? So it's easy. What about here in the East? When I took risk to be talking, there were Easterners who were they didn't want me to talk. I was in PDP when I started fighting the militia killings. There were people in the PDP who didn't want me to talk because I believed that the democracy is a representative democracy where we must to speak and act and do things in representation of the interests of the areas where we hail from. Not wanting to join a man you think will just make you president. Understand that. So by the time what I was doing with Peter became strong, those Igbo politicians became obsolete. How can't you see them? You not see them following Atiku about. You see them campaigning in the East for Atiku. They want to latch on to something to become relevant, just like the man you're calling, Kenneth Okonkwo. Who is he a politician? No. He joined us at Chase Hotel. Remember all Kenneth said, abusing Igbo people about joining Buhari. If they don't join Buhari, they will not be in the mainstream. The same Kenneth came to join me. Same Kenneth now is with Atiku. Forget these things. Some people don't have the intellectual strength to survive in what I'm doing. You need to have the intellectual capability to sustain over a long period of time, not just to jump every train that is moving to Sokoto. It doesn't work that way, my dear brother. I have lost a lot. I know that. I have made a lot of enemies. I know that. But the more I sustained the propagation of my position, Nigerians came to understand it. When I started the Fulani monologue on TV, most people didn't understand me. Today, they understand me. Tell me, is it wrong for me to say it? No. Government moved against me. I will go to channels to speak. I leave. They will call channels and then fine them 5 million. Why? It's just a strategy to make sure they don't bring me. If you bring me, they will find me. Mine is to speak the truth. Let the community know. Let society know what's going on. But those who practice brown envelope journalism can take money from those people and say, okay, I'm not going to bring them again, make you no come harass on that. It's the truth. And that we must fix. Nigeria comes first. You can see with social media, we have incredible amount of spaces through which we can get out our opinions. And that's what it is.
Yeah. Okay, so considering, in alluding to this, considering the reoccurring security crisis across the Middle Belt, Do you think insecurity could influence voting behavior and turnout in 2027? Now, don't you think the president, the current, presidency that came to power in what many will consider questionable circumstances, don't you think they would have to, increase the level of insecurity in order for either to scare people or make the region, or rather to suppress votes within that region? You think that's something that could, be fathomed?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I believe insecurity will guide the voting pattern of the Middle Belt. I believe any candidate who is willing to speak to the insecurity and challenge those who kill Nigerians in industrial scale numbers will gain the support of the Middle Belt. I believe, as far as the Fulani militias continue to seek land across the Middle Belt, whoever that will be seen to fight for them will be who they will embrace. It's not Atiku. Atiku is too afraid to talk harshly against the Fulani militiamen. He seeks their acceptance. He doesn't want to offend their patrons. And of course, this is why Peter won in Plateau, won massively across the areas where this industrial scale ethnic cleansings are occurring. This is the truth. Forget what you say. That's why no single person will inherit the vote of the North. Buhari is gone, and a lot of the problem on the North is now centered again around insecurity. That's why you saw Hausas jubilating in Kano and in Katsina that Buhari has gone. So that insecurity that is in Hausa areas of northern Nigeria and also in a large squad of the insecurity, Middle Belt, will drive emotions and opinions in regards to the voting trends in the Middle Belt.
So many believe that President Tinubu's administration has failed to deliver on its promises. Could governance failure be the uniting factor for the opposition, or, as the ruling party accused those in the opposition, that they are uniting just for power's sake? Where do you think the balance is here?
Everybody has different opinions when it comes to this. Tinubu's problem is he failed to respect Nigeria's diversity. I like Tinubu for some things. I don't like him for other things. I hate his sustained implementation of nepotism as a policy of his government. I don't like it. I don't like it. But you can see as the people are coming together, he's beginning to now make appointments, make changes. That's the beauty of opposition coming together. But because we were all scattered, we were not together. That's why he was doing what he was doing. Because now that we say opposition want to come together, you can see what Tinubu is doing. So as far as I'm concerned, no matter who is in power, I seek advantage for my own people. One, I seek insecurity to be fought head on. If Benue falls, the East becomes vulnerable. That's my fear. And that was why I said, no, we cannot support anybody from the North to succeed Buhari. So when it became very glaring that Atiku could not visit an IDP camp because he didn't want to offend the perpetrators of the ethnic cleansing and their sponsors and patrons, I knew he's not there. The people in the Middle Belt understand this. So this is what happened. As for Tinubu, he should come off the high horse. Stop the ethnic bigotry in Lagos, voter suppression protocols. They will not work. Because one of the things I told somebody after Buhari died, I said, Buhari has died. Igbos are still Nigerians. You see? You see that? Buhari became a Nigerian even though his father from Maradi was a Dogara in the palace of the Emir of Daura. And because the Daura Emirate stretches from Daura through Maradi, Tahu, to as far as Agadez, anybody from that emirate will come, get paper from Sarkin Daura, and he's a Nigerian. Yes. That's how Marwa, who is from as far Marwa in the deep of Cameroon, in the Adamawa state. You can come from anywhere and you are part of Nigeria. If the emir gives you a paper, that's how it works. But you can see, just as I said about Amechi, his legacy is that Amechi was building a standard gauge land. Eastern Nigeria, where he came from, he did not build one. It was building from Kanu to Katsina, from Katsina to Maradi. That is Amechi's legacy. So that's why are they wanting to remove Tinubu? Oh, Tinubu didn't share as they wanted. That is the truth. If they could accept nepotism from Buhari, why are they not accepting it from Tinubu? What did they say? Tell me what Tinubu has done that's different from what Buhari did. Nothing. He said he will continue from where Buhari stopped. He continued. Nepotism. In this case, they call it extreme nepotism because the practitioners of settler colonialism think it's only them that can practice nepotism. So, and I tell them, no. You may have practiced nepotism across the Hausa Bokwe areas, but you cannot now extend it to the rest of Nigeria and accept others to accept it from you. You see, one thing that works for Buhari may not be able to work for Tinubu. That's what you're saying now. I think Tinubu still has time. He has time to now assemble a government that is composed of Nigerian diversity. This kind of Yoruba triumphalism will not work. It will not work. I am actually disappointed in him. I thought he could actually do better. I'm not happy at the things I'm saying. How can Igbos not be part of your government? You have 4 ministers from Ogun State alone, and you have how many? How many ministers from the East? Is it 1 or 2? The rest are ministers of state. This is a problem. This is not fair. He knows he has done us bad, but that's why today he established that investment trust for the East. This is an afterthought. So if I told somebody a month ago, once the opposition start coming together, you will see changes in Tinubu's governance style. So for whatever it means, we are beginning to now see the changes, which I think are beneficial. Changes that seem to suggest to him that his government should be an inclusive government that should not embrace nepotism like Buhari as a policy of state.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
Now, if I stay on the trajectory of your previous argument that you are pushing unapologetically that the opposition should zone the presidency to the South. In the South, we have a couple of individuals. That brings us to the man you talked about earlier before now, Right Honorable Rotimi Chibika Amechi, the former governor of Rivers State. And when you talked about him, you talked about the things he didn't do within the South, whereas he was able to do standard gauge in the North and in the West, but in the South, in the Eastern region, remained the colonial narrow gauge track that is actually broken between Aba and Umuahia, and is over 10 years not been fixed. That's a conversation for another day. When you talk about the South, don't you think that if your narrative is, it's accepted, and they say, okay, in the South, let's go to primary. Don't you think the concept of we know they give shishi will now make that a man like him in the South with deep pocket might actually emerge as the presidential flag bearer? Now, in answering that question, bear in mind in one of the comments he made sometime in a TV interview, I think about a month or two ago, where he said that the only reason why he accepts that he is Igbo is because he has sympathy, not that he is Igbo. He wears his Isiago and identifies as Igbo because as a sympathy to Ndi Igbo. How do you react to that?
Amechi is from
Ikwere.
Amechi is Igbo.
But he says he's
Amechi
not.
is from, let me finish, please. I am Igbo. I was born in Diogu, River State. Amechi is from Ubima. Ubima. Ubima in Igbo means forest of the big knife. That means it's a forest. Amechi is from a place beside Obinze. In between Obi, after Amechi, so Ubima is, you have Obinze there, from Amarelu. But because of the civil war, when me and him were children growing up in River State, the army, the 30 section in Port Harcourt, told us to deny our Igbo-ness because the war was actually about the oil. So they felt the hydrocarbons were well occurring in River State, and they said we should deny our Igbo-ness. That was 1976. It was Senator Obiwale campaigning then. He said, no, I will never deny my Igbo-ness. Together with Chief Imaguma, they said they wouldn't deny their Igbo-ness. Others followed the armies and they denied their Igbo-ness. We went to election. Chief Aguma, Chief Obiwale won the election in a landslide. But that didn't stop the people who thought getting the hydrocarbon bearing part of Igbo, the riverine Igbo part, out of the Igbo control. We know that they think that is what they should do. I'm happy me and you are alive today. Amechi's fellow Ikwere man, Senator Mbata, is the President General for Hanes and Igbo. So, to be honest to you, when Peter denied Jesus, it was an act of convenience. It did not deceive the church. They still named the basilica in Rome after St. Peter, despite the fact that he committed that act of convenience. So, Wike's own too was because these people, people who were working with Atiku, started giving money to the mosques to say that nobody should vote for anybody from the east. Wike said, what did this Igbo thing, who has it helped? I bet forget, I started this Igbo denial acrobatic. Yet they still denied him. Because I told people, I said, it is not the Igbo that is the problem. The Fulani don't want to share power with anybody. They didn't give it to Abiola, so they won't give it to you. So all that acrobatic, Wicked denied, did this story. They didn't still give him. That's why he said, okay, since this house, all of us built it, you don't want me to be part of it, I'll bring it down. People have different ways of expressing their anger. I didn't do the same. I was campaigning. I was going around. I was talking to people. I met Peter. Peter said, no, please don't talk to me about that. I cannot challenge my principal. That was the word he was using. He was calling Atiku his principal. Say he won't challenge him. So I started by having meetings, going to people, talking to them. And then, as God will have it, Peter finally agreed. And that was how we gave birth to the obedient movement. And then these people joined us. And then today it is history. And that's why you see me here speaking. So I say, if the presidency was acrobatically gutted by Tinubu, and it's now in 2 years in the South, let the Northerners respect that it should be in the South. After 8 years, the pendulum can go back to the North. Why is it that they don't want the presidency to come to the South? It is not an ADC issue. It's not a PDP issue. It started from Abiola. Let us ask the question. Atiku, who became a Nigerian in 1961, why is he not allowing other Nigerians to feel inclusive in the governance of Nigeria? This is a problem for us. Why do some people from the far north think that we in the south don't belong? This is the problem. So that's why I told you, Peter Obi will not be part of any alliance that doesn't zone the president to the south. So if he zone it, fine. Let us go to fight with Amechi. The people in the party will know that they will need somebody that they will get to use to win election. And it's just not like, once that happens, you will see plenty of other parties zone their presence to the south. Go and mark my word. Go and mark it. Go and mark. This is about nation building.
So you believe that if the coalition zones the presidency to the south, that your candidate would emerge victoriously?
I don't have a candidate now. What I have are people I think have the capacity to do that. You become a candidate when you win a party's primary. I don't have a candidate. So everybody now are aspirants. So when you bring it to the south, there are certain who will say they're interested. And then the party will look at it, and who they think is better, everybody will zero in on that person. Sometimes these things are not issue of money. It is issue of winnability. Atiku's desperation is not caused by us.
But we have seen it.
Using money.
We have seen it. We have seen it in 2019 in Rivers, and we saw it in APC's. In the last primary in Abuja, where people were paid up to $30,000, and someone went back. I think someone from the north went back and bought foodstuff and stuff for the community. So this is not a question of whether he was given money. Obviously, he was a delegate. He came, he collected money, and he went back and he did Saraka. So it is a societal problem actually that something like this happen. Anyway, while we are rounding up, people, those of you joining us across our platforms, if you do have any question, please type your question down. I will be taking your questions in the next segment. But before I do that, do you foresee any emerging thought forces or realignment beyond the current big players like the ADC, PDP, LP, come 2023?
Of course, in politics, a week is a very, very long time in politics. Understand that. In politics, a month is a very, very big time in politics. I met you 8 months to the election. Some people will tell you that is nothing, but in that 8 months, you saw what we achieved. So never say never when it comes to politics. So those who are jubilating ADC has formed, it's not, that's too early. Let us see how the calibrations fall when the pieces fall into place. I would people have been calling me. I said, don't rush to anywhere. Don't go join any ADC. Just hold on. Let us watch. He said, well, I said, forget the ADC. It is just a staging ground. When you see a platform for elections, I will tell you. That's what I can tell your audience.
Okay.
What the ADC is a staging ground for angry people. Once things work out, you see a platform for election. So I am not the one to say. You want me to agree that we now say the family dog, so we can go and now buy a monkey or a snake. What kind of reasoning is that? Tell me now. Yeah, because the dog barks too much. You want to sell the family dog, so we'll go and buy snake. Snake will bite and kill the children. So calm down. Sometimes you don't use anger to do very foolish and stupid things. I like the opposition as they are coming together because they are coming together. Tinubu has woken up. Hey, who knows? He will do better things. He will do more things. Let's keep working.
Okay.
It's going to be win-win. But all I can tell you is the ADC is just an honest expression of anger. It is not yet the platform for election.
Okay, so finally here, Dr. Katch, if you were to advise the opposition leaders behind closed doors, what 3 urgent steps would you recommend to them to secure victory in 2027? 3 things.
You know, when you suggest things to people, you're suggesting things to people. If it's in politics, you're suggesting things to people who are emotional. One thing I would tell them is I started the crisis to agitate in the PDP. I'm still alive. I will tell them the reason why I started those agitations before I was able to gain a candidate was very simple. The political pendulum for presidency swings between the north and the south. That it has been in the north for 8 years. That if it doesn't come back to the south, the opposition will remain divided and broken. That is it. I would then tell them to further go on and do a post-mortem to find out what happened while the opposition tore apart. It was Atiku Abubakar's inordinate ambition. Nothing else. If they now understand that, they will then say, what do we do? I will say, the three things I will advise you, look at what the PDP did in 2019. When they saw that they imploded, when the Northerners went to do MPDP and helped to form a coalition that bettered the Buhari presidency, now that you want to unite your position, do what the PDP did in 2019. Could the PDP have now told Atiku that they will do by zoning the presidencies to the south, and that's why you see Atiku now have left and try to form what he called a coalition. And now I'm telling people, whether you start to negotiate for that unity of the opposition inside the PDP, or you start to negotiate for that unity of the opposition outside the PDP in what you call the alliance, you must allow equity, fairness, and justice if you need peace in a diverse society like you have in heterogeneous Nigeria. The South are very important. Our fathers used to be afraid of soldiers and we didn't talk. Our sons' education have now made them in a democracy to be more assertive. That's why even before I could say anything to them, they were organizing. They were using their own money to build for us an organic network. This is the truth. This is the truth. All of us were shocked how the young people were spending their own money, organizing, even people abroad who saw what we were doing. And I will tell them the reason that started before I got Doing Ukube to join me, may his memory rest in peace. I knew Doing in the 90s. I would leave my house at Allen Avenue because I lived on Oluwaleimu Street, and I drive to Doyin's house at Ilupeju. That was how we became friendly. That's why we were close. That's how anything politics will be there. I will call Omaba Nibolonwa. He will tell me and I will go and meet him. I was always comfortable with him. So when he did his 60th birthday and he said, Katch, what do we do? I say, Omaba, we're not getting younger. Let us do certain presidency. If it doesn't work, then we can go follow and the percentage will try. He said, but we don't. I said, I will find candidate. And I started looking at people we didn't have. Then the Northern and former governor called me and said, Katch, I said, sir, you want the thing to work? I said, what do you mean, sir? I said, this is your thing. You know me. Go and fight Peter. I said, what do you mean go and fight Peter? He said, your people have money, but they don't put it in politics. In 2019, Peter brought money to Atiku. To put that kind of money in politics. That was why after Atiku emerged, and all those leaders like Ekuremati, they off-road Igbo, they were not getting ready to go to Atiku's place. They were in their car when they had inside the radio broadcast, Atiku was announced P2B. And that was also what I told Peter. I said, look, this business, as far as I can get my information right, it is the man who brings the money to pay when you're going to beggar to buy motor. That is the man that stays in front of the motor when they are testing that motor. And in this case, Patrick Ifeanyi Okowa is the man funding Atiku. There is no way you will be allowed to stay in front of that motor when they secure it at the primaries. He said what? I said, Okowa is the person. The same Okowa that hosted certain governors to assist in the South was the first to start funding Atiku. And that was when we now were convinced Peter and I knew he had to do alternative things. So all of us are still alive. All of us, you know how I met you. So I can tell this story. Some of us may have died, like Okwadike is passed, Obiozo has passed. Others are still alive. So I'm recounting it now. Telling the people to start working with me before we started blaming Peter. Will come to my house. They will say, Katch, keep talking to people. I say, Why am I not going to talk to them? You people served with him as commissioner and say, no, we cannot say no to him. You can argue, you can. I said, really? Say, keep telling him. And I kept telling him. And he knew I was sincere in my insisting I wouldn't listen to him. And one day I asked him, I said, okay, why you know they invest with me? He said, no, you don't agree. That's why I like you. You say no. If you're an OS member, I don't need you, Kachi. Peter told me this, and I just kept quiet. But I knew the truth about what I was telling him were real. I was convicted. He knew. And then when he agreed to run, we took it, and the rest is history. That's why when you talk about VP, I say no. The vice presidency is a slaughterhouse. No Nigerian has survived the vice presidency. An old man as president, a cabal will take over. The first thing they do, they will appropriate the work of the VP to themselves, then degrade the VP. Can't you see? Osibanjo today is looked at the same way they see Aribeshola in Tinubu's camp. Yes. The vice presidency degrades you.
It's quite funny.
You can see how Shetima is.
The man who called him an ice cream seller appears to be selling kunu now, is it?
Oh, it's not a mortuary attendant. Can't you see that?
Oh, Kachi, thank you very much for being my guest. Before I let you go, we say in our place, we don't have these conversations all the time. So if I have the opportunity and privilege of, sitting you down for 2 hours to actually have this conversation, I will say thank you very much. But before I let you go, as I said before, please, my question is, what is your view? Because this is the state of the nation, and you are from Imo State and you're currently in Imo State. It means you are on the ground. And I ask, what is the state of insecurity or vis-a-vis security in the Southeast today?
Security in the Southeast is excellent, beautiful now. You have residual criminals operating. But since the Tinubu administration came in, I think the federal funding for the non-government sting operation has ceased. That's why it doesn't exist anymore. The East is not peaceful. What you have are residual nonsense by criminals, mostly perpetrated by Igbo kidnappers. But that old issue where Bichi was commanding Asari them and all those idiots, all those things are over. It doesn't happen anymore. The East is over. Don't forget, Buhari started this insecurity with his Python dance. Then later on, and when I tried to inquire from somebody, I said, what really is going on? He said, Buhari is not happy that he killed a lot of their Boko Haram people. And then that takes me back to the words of Mandela. Mandela said, any leader who comes to power and starts to pursue revenge will only end up destroying his society. The East is very good today. The old unknown government has ended because I thank the Tinubu administration for ending federal funding of the unknown government sting operation. So the East is good now. Okay? Don't listen to all those people who are just throwing stories about the East. I am telling you now, I'm in the East. I'm speaking to you from the East. The East is peaceful. I drive. I was in Olo this morning. I went to get something there. From Olo, I went to Iziachi. From there, I went to see my friend Atu Mujike. So everything is fine.
But there are still
the unknown sting operation is over.
But there are still camps where certain elements do occupy, especially between the borders of Imo State and the Anambra State.
Yes. A lot of the elements that were used to perpetrate the violence were people who were harvested from prison. Under Buhari, there were 13 prison outbreaks. So a lot of those people, they were harvested and put there. Some of them don't even know that the government is over. Like during the Civil War. 10 years after Civil War, some people are still hung in some bushes. It took hunters to capture them and to tell them the war is over. So that's what it is. And I also commend the governors. They're doing very well. But of course, you have a lot of criminals, residual criminals, but the East is perfectly over. And for that, I thank the Tinubu administration. You see, Tinubu has done well when it comes to that. He has stopped all federal funding of the unknown government sting operation that was perpetrated by elements of the Buhari administration. I said it during Buhari's time. I said, these are Buhari's games. Because those boys, they were, and don't forget, they were up to 38 different Biafra now organizations. But that only one was true. And that was why they arrested the one who didn't agree to what they're doing. And all these people will keep quiet. Government will be doing all this thing, and you see them, they just do skits, dress up on video, do this and throw on the internet to pretend as if something is going on. It's not true. The people with boots on the ground is the federal government. Along that, the place you're talking about now, take a flip look behind it. The flip look behind where you're talking about now is the Onitsha Owerri Road, one of the heaviest guided area with federal military presence. So how come you're not telling me at the back of it you have these things? When it is easy to throw up a drone and smoke at everybody. You see that? So the Nigerian security services that get medals when they go outside, Nigerian police organization that are so good when they go for outside peacekeeping operation, suddenly, internally, cannot do anything. You hear what happens in Benue, you hear what in Plateau. They collude. If they collude in the north, why wouldn't they collude in the east? So the war has ended. Buhari has gone. But then cleansing the aftermath of war probably will take time.
So my people, that is it. I hope you heard everything Dr. Katch Ononuji said here. I will encourage you guys to go ahead on Njenje television to watch the full video, because this video is very, very long. Like, this is a 2 hours interview, and Dr. Katch Ononuji really said a lot of things, my people. You really need to go and watch the full video, honestly. And for those that are still supporting that Peter Obi should step down for Atiku, especially our Igbo brothers and sisters, amahụmma ọ na-ojukwu anya ọnụ, ọ na-ojukwu uche ọnụ. So ọ na-echefugo ihe Buhari mere ndị Igbo, and now ọnọdụ in support ka power go back to the north, to another Fulani man. Like, this is really, really surprising, honestly. It is really, really surprising. Just 2 years that power returned in the south, and you people want the power to go back to the north. Like, for what? Even though that Tinubu, no, they do well. Like, Peter Obi is supposed to be the next person. If these Northerners, like, they are sincere of what they are doing. If this opposition coalition they form is really for Nigerians, so why are they contesting for primaries? I hope you guys remember in 2014, when these people come together to form APC, like, they didn't even conduct any primary. They just gave Buhari that presidential ticket. So why is this one now different? Knowing fully well that, like, this is the turn of the South. Any person that is saying that Peter Obi should step down for Atiku, that person is not sincere. That person is doing it for his own selfish reason, his so selfish interest, just as Kenneth Okonkwo and their camp they are doing right now. They are not just doing all those things, all this talk. They are not just talking because they love Nigeria. No, it's because of what is going inside their pocket, my people. So mind who you listen, especially this time around. And let's not forget to wish Peter Obi a very happy birthday. Yes, today is Peter Obi birthday. Everywhere is bubbling. They are doing Peter Obi birthday rally. Like, the whole 36 states in Nigeria are celebrating Peter Obi. Peter Obi is loved, honestly. Peter Obi is loved. Even some people are donating millions for Peter Obi. So giveaway is raining. All social media, go and collect your own. My people, I say make I bring this update to you guys. Do wait to subscribe for more updates, like the video, and also leave your thoughts in the comment section. I will see you guys in my next update. Goodbye for now.
Welcome to Shamress News TV.